Welcome! NOAA has just released its October of 2021 climate report, and this video is a summary of that report. Let's take a quick overview of the global situation. October of 2021 was the fourth hottest October on record. The Arctic sea ice level was the 8th lowest. The Antarctic sea ice was the 4th lowest, and that breaks a recent trend. North America was the second hottest October. Above average in Europe, 12th hottest in Asia, 7th hottest October in Africa, and the 3rd hottest in South America, and above average in Oceania. We have a La Nina in the Eastern Pacific, and the west coast of the United States got record rains. Now let's take a look at the detailed temperatures. The global temperature was 0.89 degrees centigrade above the 20th century average. Land is warming faster at plus 1.39 degrees centigrade. That's the 3rd hottest land record for October to date. Ocean was 0.71 degrees. That's the 4th warmest. The northern hemisphere was warming faster at 1.14 degrees centigrade and is the 3rd hottest October on record. The southern hemisphere was 0.64 degrees centigrade above the 20th century average, and that was the 7th warmest on record. On the right, we have what is called a percentiles map. That shows where there are record cold or record warm areas. Record cold is indicated by dark blue. A slightly lighter shade of blue indicates much cooler than average. And if you look at the map, neither of those were anywhere on the map. We have a large area of much warmer than average over most of the globe, and then a few areas of record high temperatures. We can judge whether there is global warming or global cooling by the ratio of the number of record highs to the number of record lows. And this is shown here for October. The daily record are running 2.7 to 1 in favor of high records compared with low temperature records. And interestingly, the daily highs are only 2.2 times more than the daily lows, but the nighttime temperatures are the ones that seem to be increasing the most. Their ratio is 3.2 to 1. That is a unique signature of greenhouse gas effects. The monthly records are running 6 to 1 in favor of warming. So overall, we have a warming planet. I filled in this matrix for October. This shows the ranking of each month compared with the previous months for the last 10 years. And you can see that October was the 4th warmest. Now it looks as though 2021 is aiming to be somewhere around the 6th to the 9th warmest year on record. We can look at the satellite temperatures according to Roy Spencer, one of the well-known climate skeptics, and even his data is showing a warming trend. October of 2021 continued the upward trend that's been going for about the last 6 months. And overall, his data is showing a long-term trend of 0.14 degrees centigrade per decade, very similar to the surface temperatures. There always seems to be a lot of interest in what the sea ice is doing. In the Arctic, we had the 8th smallest extent of sea ice in October, and the 21st consecutive year with below average sea ice. Looking at the Antarctic, we get a somewhat different picture. Sea ice was below average in October of 2021. In fact, it was the 4th smallest sea ice extent recorded to date in October. And that bucks a trend that's been going on for the last year or so, where sea ice in the Antarctic seemed to be spreading. The bête noire in all of this is the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and that shows another increase, another record in fact, in October of 413.93 parts per million. That's an increase over 2.42 parts per million since last year. That's a larger increase than we saw last month. As I mentioned before, we are in La Nina at the moment, and the models, amazingly enough, seem to be almost agreeing with one another in that we're going into a La Nina right now. It will bottom out in next month and then start to rise back up again And by April, we should be back into ENSO neutral conditions and probably heading towards an El Nino early next year. Just to round things out, for those that seem to believe that the sun has something to do with the weather, I've put a little update of what the solar conditions are. Solar cycle 25 continues to grow. You can see that it had a peak of sunspot number last month. This month it was at about 40. October was the most active month seen to date. It had 1 X flare, 6 M flares, 89 C flares, and 1 strong geomagnetic storm. That's a G3 level storm. So the sun is cooking along very nicely. In fact, its activity is increasing much faster than it did the previous cycle, solar cycle 24. So that would imply this new cycle is going to be larger. So to summarize all of this, La Nina is present as was predicted. Globally, it was the 4th hottest October on record, which means that 2021 is likely to be something like the 6th warmest year on record. High temperature records are being set faster than low temperature records, so we have a warming planet. So until next time, stay safe and goodbye.